every New Year's Eve is supposed to feel the same. Fireworks, countdowns, music, smiling faces, the illusion that something truly resets at midnight. But there are years when that illusion doesn't hold. Years when the world reaches the final seconds of December carrying grief instead of excitement. And in those moments, something strange happens. People still turn to music, not to celebrate, but to survive the transition. There are New Year's songs we think we understand, songs that promise fresh starts, hope, renewal. But during years marked by tragedy, those same songs change meaning entirely. They stop sounding like celebration and start sounding like remembrance, comfort, sometimes even quiet mourning. Music doesn't change. We do. When a year ends in loss, people don't want silence at midnight. Silence would force them to confront everything they're trying to carry into the new year. Music becomes a shield, a shared emotional space where grief doesn't have to be explained. It can simply exist. Throughout history, there have been New Year's Eves shaped by tragedy, wars, disasters, attacks, collective trauma. And every time the music chosen for that night takes on a different weight, familiar melodies become heavy. Lyrics once ignored suddenly feel painfully clear. A song meant to unite joy becomes a container for sorrow. What's fascinating is that people rarely choose new music for these moments. They return to the same songs, the ones tied to tradition. Because tradition feels stable when everything else feels uncertain. One of the most striking patterns is how often slow, reflective songs emerge during these nights. Even in celebrations, the music softens, the tempo drops, voices lower. As midnight approaches, the atmosphere becomes less about excitement and more about endurance, making it through the moment. Psychologists have noted that during periods of collective trauma, humans seek synchronization. We want to feel that others are experiencing the same emotions at the same time. Music provides that synchronization effortlessly. It aligns breathing, heart rate, attention. For a few minutes, millions of people feel less alone. This is especially true on New Year's Eve, a moment already loaded with symbolism, the end of time, the beginning of something unknown. When tragedy is present, that symbolism intensifies. The year becomes something to escape. Midnight becomes a threshold people are desperate to cross. And the song playing during that crossing matters more than we realize. In years marked by loss, people often describe New Year's music as bittersweet. Even joyful songs feel fragile. Smiles don't last as long. Cheers are quieter. There's an unspoken understanding that celebration feels inappropriate, yet necessary. Music allows that contradiction to exist. One of the most powerful examples comes from years following major global tragedies. In those moments, public celebrations don't disappear, but they transform. Fireworks may still light the sky, but the music carries restraint. Familiar songs feel slower, heavier, as if time itself resists moving forward. Listeners often report that they remember exactly which song was playing when the year changed. Not because it was special, but because of how it made them feel. The song becomes a timestamp for emotion, a marker for survival. What's unsettling is how universal this reaction is. Across cultures, languages, and borders, people respond to tragedy at New Year's in similar ways. They don't choose chaos, they choose familiarity. Songs they've heard since childhood, melodies that feel safe. It suggests that New Year's music isn't really about celebration at all. It's about continuity, proof that life keeps moving even when it hurts. In these moments, music becomes less entertainment and more ritual. A way to acknowledge the past year without fully reliving it. A way to step forward without pretending nothing happened. There's also a quiet honesty in how people listen. In during tragic years, crowds sing less loudly. Some don't sing at all. They listen, they hold the moment. Music fills the space between what was lost and what still remains. And yet the song still plays. That persistence is important. It tells us something uncomfortable but true. Even when a year ends in pain, people don't want to abandon the ritual. They want to carry it forward, altered but intact. Music becomes the bridge. Some songs over time become unofficial soundtracks of grief-laden New Year's Eves. Not because of their lyrics, but because of their emotional neutrality. They don't demand happiness. They allow interpretation. They become blank canvases for collective feeling. In this way, New Year's music becomes a mirror. It reflects whatever the world is carrying at that moment: joy, fear, exhaustion, hope, or quiet resilience. There's a reason why, after particularly hard years, people describe the moment after midnight as anticlimactic. The music fades. Applause dies down quickly. The reality remains. But something still changes. The year is over. That alone brings relief. Music doesn't erase grief, it frames it. And perhaps that's the true mystery behind New Year's songs played during tragic years. They are not meant to celebrate endings or beginnings. They are meant to accompany us through the transition, to remind us that time moves forward regardless, and that we are moving with it. In the end, the most powerful New Year's songs are not the happiest ones. They are the ones that don't tell us how to feel. They simply stay with us while the clock runs out. Because sometimes, the most important thing music can do is not lift us up, but walk beside us into the next year. And when the fireworks fade and the song ends, what remains is not celebration, but survival. That is why, even after the darkest years, the music still plays at midnight. Not because everything is okay, but because we are still here.